Let's take a look at 3 examples of match case scenarios to further solidify how we can use these. So first of all, we're going to take a look at some binding and wild card. So we did talk through this a little bit in the lecture, but I wanted to highlight it again. We have a variable called point, and it's assigned a tuple, which contains the values 2 and 3. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. So if we're matching that variable, we have x, we're binding that x right there. In other words, we're capturing it and we can then print it out. And here we have a wild card, so we don't care what matches here. So we are going to match this case and we will print out the value of x. So let me save that file and run that script, and we see we do indeed print out x is 2. Now, what if I were to put the number 5 here? So our case would be simply bind this variable. We don't care about a match. And then we match on the 5. So are we going to match? Let's save it. Run it again. We do not match because we're not printing anything out here. So let's put that to 3. Save it. Run it. We do match because we don't care about this x. We're just binding. And then we do match the second value of the tuple, which is 3. So we do print out x. The value of x is 2. So that's our first example. Let's delete that and look at another example. And here I want to highlight for you. I'm not going to cut that. Let's just copy here. I'm going to highlight for you using our bars as ORs, logical OR. So can match this or this or this or this or this. So we have a variable called char, a character. We're setting it to the value of a. We're matching on that variable. So if any of our cases match a, we'll execute the code for those cases. So what do you think will happen? We have a case that matches A or E or I or O or U. We have a case called Y. We have a case of wildcard. Well, let's save it, clear, and run it again. Run our script. A is a val because we match on this first case. Well, if we were to change the car or char variable to just some gibberish, let's save and run it again. We're saying it's a consonant, and now that's kind of misleading. So we need to be careful when we're matching like this, because all we're saying is every other condition. It's like an else statement in our if else, and we're saying it's a consonant. So we need to be sure we know what our parameters are. So let's just change this to f and run it again. Now f is a consonant. That is actually accurate. So we're expecting this to be a single character. So now we can change it to y, and we'll match the condition that we have not matched yet. Sometimes y is considered a val, so we printed this condition under the case y. Okay, so that's our second example. I wanted to show you these logical ORs again. Well, you know what? Let's put in another value from here, from this case, just to make sure we're demonstrating that fully. So let's put in the value u and run it again. And see, it does indeed match. U is a val. It does indeed match this top case. So let's go on to our last example. This one I just want to show you a little bit more of a in-depth example. And this one is a very, I think, great use case because we're using response codes, HTTP response codes. So you could certainly see yourself, I think, using a match case like this, depending on what the response is, because they're always going to be a set of responses for HTTP status codes. So here we have a dictionary. Its name, the variable name is response. And we see open curly bracket, close curly bracket, representing our dictionary, beginning and end. Then we have a key called status and a key called message with values of 404 for the status and not found for the message. So we're just pretending we got an HTTP response and this is what we got back. So let's now check our response, the value of status. So the status code, which will be this 404, that's an integer in this case. So we're matching and checking against all these integers, different cases, and printing different things based on the response. So let's save that and see what occurs. We see error 404 not found. That indeed matches this case here. Error, then we're printing out the value of response status, which is 404, and then we're printing out the value of response message, which is not found. If we change our response to, let's try 203. Let's see what happens. Unhandled HTTP status code. We're saying our code does not handle it. So we're getting the catch-all there. And if we try one more, we can just say 200. I will change this message. Success. Let's just say success. And let's run it again. Success. So we matched on that 200. Our response matched this case. So there's several examples. I hope that shows you a little bit more. It helps solidify for you how we can use match case and how it can add value to our Python programming. All right, see you in the next lecture.